And it says we're live.
That lies.
Maybe.
That lies.
Hey, Joel, how goes it today?
Already? I don't understand people that are waiting for us.
Well, when you count up the warrants,
Yeah,
Well, point.
I'll just warn y'all ahead of time. I feel like crap today. I got,
Somebody's already had COVID and the
the shot
vaccine is kicking the snot out of them.
yeah, I had my shot yesterday up at Lawton, and I feel like hammered crap, running about a 99.2 fever, so I'm off to a good start. Oh, man. Anyway, um, some more interesting fallout from I got the Moderna version, and my arm hurts. Actually, both arms hurt. My back hurts. Um, Pretty much everything hurts. I've got a headache. So I'm in fine form today. Uh, and apparently, when you're this bad off after the
First shot.
first shot, that's an indicator that I've probably had this before,
Uh-huh.
which,
because you're having secondary reaction.
yeah,
He's having cytokine reactions.
Yeah.
Normally, my doctor said, and he's a really good doctor. He said, if you have mild effects on the first shot and major effects on the second shot, you have no antibodies in your system. If the first shot, and this is a quote from my doctor, so don't get mad at me. If the first shot knocks your dick in the dirt, you've already had COVID because you've got the antibodies.
yep, and I'm thinking that's what I've got. It was rather interesting yesterday up there because they make you wait 15 to 20 minutes after you get the shot to see if you're going to fall over.
Yeah.
So they had a bunch of us all sitting in this room, and would you put a bunch of old veterans in the same room that are all grumpy?
No serious.
And they had this young kid sitting in there monitoring us, and he finally looked around the room and he said, "Damn, you guys are effing." He says, "You guys are vicious." And we all started laughing.
I hear what we like with people we don't like.
Yeah. And one of the guys said, "You think this is bad? You ought to see it when it gets political discussion. This is just friendly harassment."
Yeah. Speaking of political, the number of people absolutely going into pearl clutching tizzies. I mean, the makers of smelling salts have got to be making a crap ton of money right now because the number of people that have hit the fainting couches over Texas being sensible
Yeah.
is there's got to be setting records somewhere. I swear to God.
Well, how dare he
Yeah.
show that that lockdowns did not work,
Yeah.
and calling for and just doubling down on them is not working even harder.
Yeah.
John, I'm betting you're in the same boat we were. You've had it, and you were asymptomatic the whole time. Yeah, fear. Yeah, pardon me. Fear is intoxicating, no question, and that's what the left loves to use.
Well, it's not just intoxicating; it's comfortable.
Yeah. But the one thing I did want to mention is kind of interesting fallout from the power outages down here. A friend of mine down by Fredericksburg was without power for 3 days, and his electric company charged him 40 kilowatt hours per day for the 3 days. He didn't have power.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
That's a good question, and
you didn't give me any power, but you charged me for power you didn't give me.
Uh-huh.
See, I'm kind of don't care about the power thing. One, the power went out because we had a once in 125 year event.
Yep.
Once in 1,000 year event. That nobody that did any risk assessment even thought about planning for. Yep. you're not gonna, Texas is not gonna have all 254 counties below 32 Fahrenheit for a week. It's Texas. We don't do that. They didn't plan for it, couldn't plan for it, wouldn't plan for it. A lot of people hopped on to these things like Gridley, where they would sell you power at market rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will guarantee you the fine print somewhere it said, and they were probably told, hey, if the market price goes up, you're gonna pay more. Yeah, you're
Yep.
paying less now. And anybody heard was less now. And they were real happy about the market price at $32 for 40 kilowatt hours. And now, the market swung up because stuff went south. And now, well, you shouldn't have signed on with Gridley.
Yeah. Now, Cedar, it's maybe standard some places, but the interesting part is both of her neighbors, their neighbors down there, when they checked theirs, had no charges. So he was the only one that was charged out of the three
Well, also
houses down that area.
I'm wondering, I don't know about any place else, but Texas has a plan where they average out, because in Texas, because it's Texas, during the summer, when you're trying to get somewhere below 110 degrees, you tend to use a lot of electricity in them air conditioning things.
Yeah.
And then in the winter, you open a window and you're comfortable.
Yeah.
And you don't use any power. So what they do is they average for the year what the average month, and you pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
that,
it's a prediction. They're
Yeah.
predicting what the average is going to be.
Yeah.
Right.
And suddenly,
So if your average for the year would be $40 a month, you get charged $40 a month, even if you spent $325.
the polar bear cavalry comes marching through.
Yeah, no kidding.
And their average goes out the window.
Yeah.
Nothing quite like having a polar bear knocking your door saying, "Hey, you know it's cold out here."
Yeah. Well, at RK says, did he contact the power company to complain? No, actually, his wife said, bless their hearts, I will fix this.
Oh crap!
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh crap!
We have a
Yeah.
fine Southern refined woman taking care of business.
Yes.
Who also happens to be a retired Air Force Light Colonel.
Yeah, there's going to be heads rolling.
Yeah.
You think the storm was bad?
Oh
Yeah.
no! There's gonna be somebody. I'm not taking that call. I recognize the number. I'm not taking that call again. She won't leave us alone.
Tom Roggenby says apparently LGE is trying to get them to sign up for the same thing. Basically pay less, but they can cut us off during heavy peak load without being able to complain. Oh, hell no.
No, just go for your.
Wait,
Yes.
what?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Texas has had a couple of those too.
welcome to the third world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a fair trade-off for paying.
Yeah, but it depends. Who are they cutting you off for?
Well, they're going to cut you off for the people that pay full rate.
Oh, okay. Then that's okay.
Yeah.
But if they were like, yeah, we're going to cut you off because we don't want to supply this hospital, but this casino needs the power. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
We've got either Encore or TXU, I forget which, and we pay whatever we use for the month.
Yeah.
Send me a bill for what we use for the month. We'll pay it.
well, that's what I'm on here with TXU.
I will notice that neither one of us ran out of power during snowpocalypse.
I've got the old farts rate. So
Yeah, snowpocalypse part 2. The hell these polar bears come from?
You know, I was so bummed
Yeah.
at how fast the piles of snow melted.
yeah, there was only one snowman, and that was next door,
Yeah, it didn't last.
and it didn't even last. Yeah.
I mean, they when they plowed the main streets in the bug scuffle here, and they left those big drifts.
Yeah.
2 days.
Yeah.
2 days. And it was gone.
They were.
Well, we went from -7 to 65.
Yeah.
I know, but
I was
still,
expecting the piles in the parking lots. I was really expecting the last week.
I was bringing a Lear back from India, and we stopped in Reykjavik to refuel. And this is July, and there were still 20, 30 foot tall snow banks
Of course.
at the end of the
Yeah.
tarmac.
Yeah.
I sometimes miss that.
Yeah.
Having the big summer weather, but you can go run over to that snowdrift if you want to.
Yeah,
No,
except
I
that snowdrift was solid ice by that point. I've been to Kef in the middle of
Yeah.
the summer. I was in Stavanger, Norway on the 4th of July in a freaking snowstorm.
Oh, I know.
If our houses were built and insulated for that sort of weather, I would love it.
Yeah.
But they're not.
No.
If they were built for that sort of weather, they're built for 110-degree weather
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Insulation is insulation. It's whether
Well,
which direction is the heat flow.
RK says, welcome to Texas, Jim. Jim, we don't keep snow.
No,
Thankfully.
no, we should import more of it though, I think.
Right.
Speaking of Kef,
Uh-oh.
one of my shipmates sent me a rather interesting link yesterday evening. Apparently, they've had 2,000 earthquakes, 2.0 or higher in the last 72 hours.
Is that unusual? Because we're talking Iceland here.
Yes.
It's a
It means there's another eruption coming.
yeah, it's a volcanic hotspot. I mean,
Well, yeah, but there's two gigantic
plates are separated.
Yeah, they're right there. I mean,
Yeah.
literally,
magma's bubbling up and making an island.
Yeah.
you can
And
you can walk the crevasse.
Yeah.
And it's so. I mean, they talk about like Yellowstone's had 800 in the last 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
you're just like,
It's a magma hotspot. That
Yeah.
happens.
yeah.
well, they've had 20 that are over 5.0.
We've got a little town.
They're it's about to go boom up there
what you're
again.
saying is we should buy a cargo ship full of wrapping paper and make some money selling it in Iceland.
No,
there's
the fire department up there will put this one out like they did the last one.
Oh, Jesus.
There's
Yeah, I
a-
remember that.
there's a tiny little town north of us called Mears, Oklahoma.
Oh, yes.
Great
And-
burgers.
Both of them go into Rapture. Mears has this burger joint.
Oh, yes.
It was an old mining shack, and the USGS has a seismograph in the lobby,
Yes.
and you can stand there in line to be seated and watch the earthquakes.
Yeah.
And people tend to freak out a bit the first time they're there.
Well,
Raptor says we're all going to die. Film at 11.
the funny bit is everybody in Oklahoma, well, everybody who understands science in Oklahoma is convinced that Oklahoma's Madrid fault is active because we've been fracking.
What?
Oh, for frack's sake.
Yes.
What?
I almost
Yes.
screwed
Yes.
up.
Now, the Madrid fault line is really deep.
Yeah.
I'm talking more than 6,000
And it's
feet.
fairly east of this area.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But you'll still get an occasional earthquake in like Tulsa,
Yeah.
where you're like your bed's rocking and you're like, wait, I'm alone today. Anyway, so but people the liberals don't understand that fracking can't do that.
No, it can't do that.
It says recap at 12, maybe.
Maybe.
No, the whole fracking earthquake thing sets my teeth on edge.
Yeah.
It really does. It's. you
Oh,
don't-
I'm sorry, Sarah. I didn't realize you were asking where I was talking about. I assumed because you're a military wife, you would have known where Keflavik was.
Keflavik, Iceland.
My bad. Keflavik, Iceland.
But that's the.
Beautiful people.
Yeah.
Not enough liquor.
No, they have plenty
they got
of
plenty
liquor.
They just saw the Marines coming.
Or
and
drink
hit.
them dry.
They saw the Marines coming and hit.
They drank them out of beer, not out of liquor.
Yeah.
Well,
They.
I'm just saying, there's been a gauntlet thrown down.
They have aquavit up there. Trust me.
Oh, the roots of my hair just started hurting.
You will never freeze to death.
No.
No, you're pickled.
Yeah.
Iceland has the highest alcohol consumption in the world per person.
They beat the Russians, and that's saying
And it's
something.
2.5 gallons per person, man, woman, and child, a year in Iceland.
Yeah, but that's because it gets so cold that if you don't have that antifreeze running,
You're freeze solid.
Yeah.
You're freeze solid.
Well, I've seen them outside in 12-degree weather in shorts and a t-shirt before up there.
Well, I've seen Geordies in England dressed that way too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's just a level of crazy involved with that.
Well,
Yeah.
I used to think that, but here, during snowpocalypse too, what the hell is this polar bear doing in their front yard? At -7,
Yeah.
I was cold. I was cold at -7. And then it got to 30, and I'm running around, well, in this Hawaiian shirt and
Yeah.
jeans because
Yeah.
it wasn't that cold anymore.
Yeah, people, People below the Mason Dixon line don't understand why in April, when it's 42 degrees, girls are running around in bikinis up north.
Yeah.
I understand now
Yeah.
because, like, you know,
Because you just-
prior to Snowpocalypse 2, you know, there goes the snowman. 30 I was freezing at 30.
Yeah.
And then I got down to -7 for a night, and 30 was warm.
Yeah.
When
Tom says they're not alcoholics, they're professionals.
Yes.
Yes, Richard, they are higher than South Pole Station. South Pole Station has to ship in whatever booze they have.
They can ship everything in.
Yeah.
Except ice.
You mean they don't have a still running somewhere at South Pole?
I'm sure
These
they
are a
do.
bunch of academics.
And Richard wants to know if you remember G.I. Jen.
G.I. Jen?
Cedar says 22 Fahrenheit is shorts weather. Yeah,
No.
yes, Cedar, that's your shorts weather, not mine.
After -7 Fahrenheit, yeah, she's kind of right.
Now, I'm willing to bet that when the construction guys were down there building the latest Antarctic research station, which is really cool, by the way, it's on skis and everything.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet they had a still set up,
Oh, God, yes.
but
Engineers.
no, not engineers, construction workers.
Okay.
Okay, the engineers,
Roughnecks.
yeah, the engineers that are down there now are facilities engineers.
Oh,
And everybody else is an academic. Now, there might be one academic that knows how to set up a still, but I doubt he's ever done it.
I will guarantee you the facilities engineers are going through hand sanitizer and stealing drums of salt from the kitchen.
I'm
I can
willing to bet there's a line item for raisins on every airplane that runs down there. But
Because if you take alcohol-based hand sanitizer and sprinkle salt on it, you get gin.
Yeah.
Because it'll drag the colloidal
Yeah.
stuff to the bottom, and you get gin off the top.
you
Richard,
just have to be really careful how much you skim.
Yeah.
Richard says Phil Broughton of one of the labs was down at the South Pole, so there was a curtain made of Crown Royal bags. I can believe that.
See, I know that.
So they don't have to set up a still. They've got somebody shipping it into them.
Yeah.
I know that you can do this with hand sanitizer because of facilities engineers read janitors at a university.
Like the current Antarctic research station is just a marvel. And it's all every module is on skis.
Well, I know the Navy one down there had a still when the Navy was running it.
Yeah, no,
Maybe.
this latest one that they built in 2012, 2013, 2014. It's on skis because they're on an ice shelf that keeps moving out.
Yeah.
So every few years they can jack them up, pull the skis out of the snow, and drag it to a new spot inland.
Somebody was thinking there.
Yeah, and it's they're using the same window technology the shuttle used to allow light in, so it's really bright.
Yeah.
But not let heat out.
Really?
Yeah.
Tom says I did have a bad weekend at Goodfellow with airbase branded tequila. Yeah, that's
Oh,
called military.
Base branded.
Oh.
Yeah.
I lost a weekend because everybody's branded tequila.
Yeah, it's military
I've lost
military
weekend because of
bourbon,
horrible-
military scotch, military tequila, military vodka.
Yeah.
And it
I know.
was what, three and a quarter, a fifth,
375.
Are you
375.
talking the stuff we got off our rations out of the PX?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God, that stuff in Korea. Oh my God.
Louise says Antarctica base gets 16,500 condoms before darkness. Not going there.
And yet there's only 2 women.
There's a lot of pigments.
Do you remember soju?
God.
You've never had soju?
Oh,
I've never, the Pacific Basin is not my AO, Jim.
Okay, so soju is kind of the national drink in Korea, right?
yeah.
And you didn't drink the first inch because that had all the formaldehyde
Yeah.
flavor.
It
So
had
you'd
the-
open the
it
bottle
had
and
the
you
fusel oil.
and you splash the first inch or so out, and it fucked you up. I mean,
Oh,
let's be honest. That's what it was there for.
I had some Turkish vodka one time that one of these things where you can't turn it down
Yes.
because, shit goes south if you turn it down.
Yeah.
and they served it to me with a saucer of white sand.
Yep, that was
Right.
to strain it.
Yeah, and you take a pinch of the white sand, you sprinkle on the top, and it drags the fusel oil to the bottom,
Yep,
and you sip it till you get to the mud at the bottom. Sling that out, and they pour you another.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Really?
you never stand up
No.
Yeah.
because as long as you're seated,
As
you're
long as you're
okay.
sitting down,
The second you stand up into the drunk.
Kai Kai, palm wine in West Africa is the same damn way.
Yeah.
Stuff tastes like coconut. It tastes like coconut juice. It's this is nothing. There's no alcohol to this
Yeah.
until you stand up.
You know what I really want to try? The stuff that the elephants get drunk on.
The
oh yeah,
berries.
Yeah. But they're berries like this big.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh crap!
I'd love to try that. I'm sure somebody's bottling it somewhere.
Actually, Specs has got a bottle of. The hell?
Because anything that can fuck up an elephant,
yeah.
I want to try.
Yeah. Tom says, had a trooper get in trouble with Sambuca that had opium dissolved in it. Yep. The other thing,
Ouzo.
Ouzo.
real Greek ouzo, also has opium in it.
But I love Ouzo's licorice flavor. I'm a big black licorice fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like absinthe.
No, Richard, I'm not.
No.
I am not going to.
Marula. There we
Yeah.
go.
Marula.
I am not going to inflict Mekong on Ian, even with carbonated water chaser.
Nope.
Nope. Besides, I don't think you can get Mekong in the States. Hopefully, you can't.
Well, a lot of stuff you shouldn't be able to get in the States.
Well, that shit's rice wine
Yeah, I know.
that they turn into rice whiskey.
Yes, that's exactly what I feel about it.
Yeah, and
rice whiskey.
you might as well drink the whole damn fifth, because if you have one shot, you're going to be hungover as hell.
Rice is like potatoes. They don't add any flavor to the distilled spirits you make. I mean, it might as well be vodka.
Right.
Anything out of rice, anything distilled that started as rice, might as well be vodka.
China says ouzo mixed with real root beer. No.
Shauna, why?
My parents, my dad was in the Navy when they got married, and they did their honeymoon in Japan.
Yeah.
And my dad thought it'd be a great idea. They would buy a case of sake, and every anniversary they would open up a bottle and celebrate the anniversary, right?
Oh, I can see how this goes bad.
And every year, it became more and more like rice wine vinegar. And he said after about 10 years, it wasn't drinkable anymore.
To me, sake's really love sake. To me, and I've got a liver that cries in the shower at the mention of alcohol.
Yeah.
Really like sake. Sake tastes like a lighter fluid.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Well, you got to have it warm to the right temperature.
Yeah, that's
Mona
it.
Lisa brought up little sister brought up some sake one time. I had, you want to try that? I like sake. Yeah, try this. You'll like this. Nah, it tastes like lighter fluid.
Yeah.
Still tastes like lighter fluid.
I wonder if that's connected to the whole cilantro soap thing.
Might be.
That'd be cool.
Might be.
Cedar says, some of us like licorice. You can have all the licorice
I like
you want.
licorice.
I do not want anything that tastes like licorice.
I love black licorice.
I like licorice. Of course, whenever I had a tummy ache, my dad would give me licorice and ginger snaps.
Oh.
You had an upset tummy, you had a splody butt.
Exploded.
Splody butt, and you got, here's black licorice, here's ginger snaps, go sit in the corner and don't bother me.
I like black licorice
Oh.
because my parents, when I was a kid, had a bridge club,
Mhm.
and once a month they'd meet at my house, and my mom would put out those little black licorice mix.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I could plow my way through that.
Yeah, so nobody ate them.
Yeah.
Because nobody likes black licorice, so I got used to eating them. And I just
Joel says his grandfather was in a Russian POW camp, made a still out of fuel lines. The vodka tasted of benzene, but them as needed drinks didn't care.
Right.
Yes.
I remember drinking some absinthe, and absinthe tastes like licorice to me. And I like licorice.
Yeah.
I'm fairly
And
certain.
I woke up the wrong side of a certain famous wall. And I still have no idea how the hell I managed to do that.
I'm fairly certain that the engineers that helped design the T-34 borrowed the brake line system from a still. I'm pretty sure that's where they got their brake
I'm pretty
lights
sure
from.
that they got repurposed back to a still more than once.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you talk about stills. CBs are probably the best in the military at building stills.
Yeah, but they can get their hands on copper tubing and stuff like that.
Well, of course. That's why there's always extra copper tubing anytime as CB detachment goes anywhere.
Yes.
Combat engineers, the actual combat engineer companies with the Snoopies, those big mysterious vehicles they drive, they
Yeah.
do everything. I climbed up in one of those one time for lookabout, and they said, "You're looking at the still." And I'm looking at, I don't know what I'm looking at. He said, "Nobody's ever noticed it before." Okay, pass me a jug.
Oh, Tom, drunks with dynamite. No, just friggin' no.
In other words, Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Thursday morning in the oil field.
Yeah.
Fire the hole. Except nowadays the oil field is meth.
Oh, that's too bad.
Oh, Louise said our old Red Ball Express friend drank Sterno strained through French
Oh
bread.
God, yes, I've heard about that.
Yeah, that was a hobo thing back in the day
Yeah.
too.
Starting through a sock.
Yeah.
But I can
Well-
remember Thursday morning a whole bunch of very quiet fire in the hole
Yeah.
because the hungover engineers that were cracking the well casing were badly hungover.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, hell, statute of limitations has run out. More than once, I threw the last beer in the trash can on the airplane on pre-flight because I wasn't flying.
Do you know how many morning PT runs I've done? Snot slinging drunk.
Yeah. That's why I did not go in the Army. I went in the Navy, so I A, didn't have to walk to work, and B, didn't have to do stupid shit like get up and do PT in the
Nothing like
morning.
that 5:30
Our
formation, and the burping and the farting would just kill a water buffalo 50 yards downwind.
Our troop at Campbell had, because our first sergeant was a marathoner, we had, after we did PT, we had the fast group, we had the regular group, and we had the drunk group.
And Richard says, PT formation, Korea. Soju fumes rolling off the weaving troops.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
oh,
that survived into the 80s too.
oh God. Well, in 1986, Aberdeen, Maryland, Aberdeen Proving Grounds, you could drink beer. If I remember right, it was beer and wine if you were 18. So, Mad Dog fumes and night train fumes at morning formation
Yeah.
are a nightmare to this day.
So our barracks in Korea had beer and baby bottles in the vending machine.
Really?
Yes.
Damn, we never got that.
So it was, because it's a regular candy vending machine, but it's candy, chips, cigarettes, beer, liquor. Yes.
Sounds damn civilized to me.
RK says, Ian, that's a good reason to run upwind from the main
Oh.
body.
Oh, there are more than once I ran satellite. And for those of you who weren't in the military, running satellite means your drunk butt has done something to piss off the NCOIC. So when the entire platoon's running, you're running around the platoon as they go down the road.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing like watching the road guards up there at parade rest with a hand out swaying 30 degrees either way.
With their magic safety vest that would
Yes.
protect them from anything.
From
Yeah.
anything, yes.
yeah.
The sacred safety vests of protection.
Yes.
That's and that's what's
And their flashlights.
What I
They
love,
had to have the cones on there.
Yeah.
Couldn't have a flashlight without the cone.
what I love was the E5 at the head of the line would walk down the line and point to everybody who had to follow to the drunk group. And 99% of the time, he'd tap us. We'd all follow the drunk group, and then he'd be at the front of the drunk group. Because when we'd run 2-3 miles, we'd sweat it all out and go to work
Yeah.
because we were young and immortal.
Yes.
100% pure food grade ether alcohol is interesting.
Oh,
Oh, we had a guy go blind for 2 weeks on brain
Oh,
yeah.
alcohol poisoning.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that'll scare you off of something or white lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
RK says in one unit, the commanders used each other, used to orbit each other's companies. They were all marathon runners. Needless to say, we hated them every morning.
Hate their guts.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
There was what we used to call the cavalry penny dropper.
Yeah.
We take a bottle of Everclear, stick it in the freezer.
Yeah.
And then you pour half a glass of Hawaiian Punch, and you pour that below zero Everclear in there, and you make it slushy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And as young men will, we started betting that we couldn't do shots of below zero Everclear.
Been there. Been there.
My teeth hurt for a week.
I've been there in Class A's.
Well, I've got some stories of grog that no. My teeth hurt for a week, and I lost the gunner off the 3-2 track because he was blind for about 5 days.
If we had we had an NCO ball, and one of the color guard woke up blind for 2 weeks.
Sarah says, ice cream headache from hell. Yes.
Oh yeah. Because you couldn't sip it. You had to shotgun that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine trying to do that now?
No,
Oh,
I
hell
would
no.
die.
I would. The mere whiff of the fume would be enough to make me sit down and go,
See-
I'm out.
See, usually doing a shot of Everclear back when I was young and stupid, usually it would hit my tongue and evaporate. You were drinking a fume. It was basically
Yeah.
drinking a fume.
Yeah.
When it was, 10 degrees Fahrenheit, it didn't evaporate.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's just,
Richard Pusser's rum. I got a funny story about Pusser's. We used to hit the China Fleet Club in Hong Kong back in the day. And the first drink was free.
oh, that's
yeah,
first taste is free.
But it was a shot of Pusser's 151.
Oh, bugger that for a lark.
Yeah.
Did they lit it on fire first?
No,
Well, then there was no warning.
no.
Be it upon your head.
Yes.
And we had a kid that was 18 years old, red Walgren, 6'2", Coke bottle glasses, flight engineer, trainee out of somewhere in Kansas.
Which meant he cut his teeth on Budweiser.
Yeah. And he came out of boot camp, came out of A school, and joined us on deployment in the Philippines in 1975.
Threw him in the deep end. Poor kid.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he got an education, that deployment.
Oh, yeah. But
Did you at least teach him how to cup check before you turned him loose?
yeah.
Okay.
But he made the mistake.
Yes.
We went into the China Fleet Club because we broke in Hong Kong. Gee, wonder why that happened. And said, well, first drink's on the house. And he kind of looked at it and went, what's this? And I said, yeah, just throw it back.
Oh, just throw it back.
Oh, I don't feel so.
Yep.
The
Oh,
bartender threw a bar rag at him, said, clean it up.
Oh.
Yeah, that approach into Chingy was rather interesting.
Does Pussers have a different flavor than 151?
Yes.
I don't think I've ever had Pussers.
Pusser's was the British military rum.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was a Royal Navy standard
Yeah.
rum for
Okay.
Yeah.
yoiks.
Still is.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, a beer will make me sit down nowadays. Why have I gotten worse at drinking?
I don't
You're
know.
supposed to get better at it.
Welcome to the club. I have to mix my gin and tonics 2 to 7 now.
The fact that you've measured that out and know that done,
What?
I'm just saying 2 to 7.
Yeah, 2 ounces of gin and 7 ounces of tonic water.
Yeah.
That's because you've had malaria more than once.
7 times.
Yeah.
One of the reasons gin exists is to make the quinine taste good.
I can't argue that, and it doesn't work real well.
No,
But
and
I
nobody's saying anything about gin being invented before quinine water. Sorry about that. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, quinine will screw up your inner ear too.
yeah, well,
That's why they.
so will malaria. So
Yeah. Well, a lot of the pilots used to drink Jim Beam, or not Jim Beam, gin and tonics.
gin and tonics. Yeah.
And they stopped because they had a few pilots that all of a sudden started getting vertigo.
Yeah, lost
Yeah.
their license.
Yeah.
Lost their certs.
And when they started doing more research, they literally, the Navy sent out a warning, said, stop drinking gin and tonic if you want to continue to fly as a pilot. Because the quinine in the gin and tonics, and we're not talking one or two, we're talking
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
6 or 8.
We're talking Navy.
Yeah.
We're talking a
We're
regular
talking-
pilot.
We're
Yeah.
talking military.
I mean, how long? 8 hours? Okay. Time for 2 more.
Bottle of throttle. We got this.
Yeah. Tonic water is great for glowing under a black light. Did not know that, but that's, yeah.
Interesting. How much?
Interesting.
How much do you have to drink to glow under a black light? I may have.
Why is it so that I know how? Don't you mix your drinks by formula?
No. You mix your drinks by taste.
That's
I've had a bad day. I want to taste the scotch.
What is this
I've had-
mixed drink you're talking about?
I've had a great day. I feel like I should taste the pineapple. Oh, by the way, that pineapple food thing yesterday was hilarious. We went to a Mexican restaurant for dinner last night, and they had this
this
thing
is
called
this like this is an honest to God Mexican restaurant,
Yes.
not Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
and they had this thing called the Pina Loca, and it's basically it's fajitas, mixed fajitas with pineapple thrown in. For
Or
kicker.
so you thought.
so I ordered it, and this thing shows up, and what they'd done is they'd cored out a pineapple and grilled
Uh-huh.
the cored out pineapple, and then poured all the fajita stuff in there.
Use it as a bowl.
Use it as a bowl.
Yeah.
That's great.
Cedar now wants to try that.
Oh no, Cedar, you have to. It's really good.
Yeah.
It was really good, but oh my god,
It was a surprise.
and that's a lot of food. It is a lot.
Richard says, pure grain alcohol with grapefruit juice, Navy torpedo juice. Yep, as a matter of
Yeah.
I
fact.
can't do grapefruit juice anymore. Contraindicated because of a couple of my notes.
There are alcohols I can't smell anymore without getting ill.
Tequila for me.
Yeah,
Tequila.
Oh,
I've been
God.
tequila drunk once too often.
Yeah, you're.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I can do Jaegers.
I can't smell Jaeger.
I don't have any problem with Jaeger. Tequila,
The only
no.
way I can drink Jaeger is if it's been in the freezer for a month.
I can't do Jaeger because I had curds coming out my nose.
Oh,
That's it.
Jonna, what was the wine that we used to get at Chicken in the Dirt in Rhoda? Oh, it was the wine mixture.
Sangria?
Sangria, yeah.
I love sangrias. They don't love me.
We came in from a long patrol, one of those 12-hour burners.
Just wanted a drink.
Yeah. Tom says tequila and I have an agreement. I don't abuse it. It doesn't convince me it was a good idea to tell a Mexican he didn't have the huevos to pull the damn trigger.
Yep.
Yeah, that's yeah, sangria.
There's a story there.
Yeah. Anyway,
You can get sangria water flavorings from Mio or whoever does the water
Yeah.
flavoring drops. They've got a sangria flavor.
so anyway,
It is.
we were working on about a 20-hour day, and the only thing we had was box lunches.
Ugh.
Now, Chicken in the Dirt was one of the Spanish places that did roasted chicken and potatoes. And it was called Chicken in the Dirt because the parking lot and the tables were about that far apart. I mean, the bumper of the car would be you
could lean on it.
yeah, you could lean on it. And that was our favorite place to go to dinner after a mission, assuming we got there before it closed. So we had gone out there and we had this new navigator, and this kid was straight out of the academy. So he was high and tight,
Wound up.
Yeah, wound up. So we got a pitcher of sangria. Matter of fact, we got 3 pitchers of sangria.
Oh, God, that sounds good.
Now this was Spanish sangria as opposed to sangria wine.
Right. So there's different fruit in it.
And different alcohols in it.
Yes.
So he is drinking this stuff like it's going on. This is
It's
good.
fruit punch.
Fruit punch,
It's
yeah.
fruit punch.
It's Punch. Yeah, well, yeah, slow down.
And then he stood up.
Slow down. And then he goes, I got to go pee. So we picked him up, drug him through the restaurant to the bathroom, leaned him up against the wall, drug him back to the table. They delivered the food. He goes, oh, food. Face down the food.
Ouch.
Can we get the bag? So we put everything in the bag, left him sitting there, paid, got up, left, drug him through him in the truck, drove back to base. And about 3 hours later, he comes to, apparently. And he's going, oh, I'm hungry.
Ouch.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Well, we had him in the same room with the 3P, the third pilot, who was also an ensign. Well, the third pilot had the food in the little refrigerator. He goes, oh, okay, here's your food.
Oh,
Apparently, it was not pretty.
I had a brand new driver. Didn't have him very long, and we were at the bird bath cleaning out, and somebody in supply was passing out screwdrivers.
Oh,
And by screwdrivers, I'm not talking about the instrument used for removing screws from your track. I'm talking about the orange juice and vodka. And my 18-year-old driver got snot slinging, commode hugging drunk. And I got irritated because we're cleaning tracks. And he was passed out over some duffel bags and couldn't help us clean the track. That was a little annoying. So I dragged him back to the barracks by one ankle. Left a trail of hair. Took the hair right off the back of his head. Got back to barracks, and he roused enough to say basically that he was hungry. And I told him, no, you're not. He was hungry. So the only food there was crackers and Korean.
Kimchi?
Kimchi.
Oh, God.
Crackers and kimchi. And he pounded down an entire sleeve of crackers slathered in kimchi, looked at me, his eyes crossed, he went green. I said, you better make it to the latrine. He didn't.
I can remember coming off of field problem, and we'd all piled down to the bar. And we'd all be so drunk that whoever ate just puked right there and didn't have the energy to move.
okay.
I can remember sitting at the table and there'd be piles of puke, and you're just like,
We are nasty, nasty people.
Oh, yeah.
Open me another beer.
Yeah.
But this is how I learned you could fit a case of
RK,
beer.
you ain't right. Crackers with kimchi sounds great. No.
I can't do
A
crackers.
762 rocket pot, one tube will fit one case of beer.
Yes,
Yeah.
it will.
Yes.
So will a Grey Goose Sonobuoy overpack.
So if you send 2 Cobras and a Blackhawk back to the Domino's just off Fort Campbell, that will let you land there. The crew chiefs can fill the rocket pods with the beer. The Domino's will walk the pizzas over to you, and you send it back to the.
I will not say what fits into the tow missile box on the side of M3.
Bottle of 151 rum fits nicely in the breech of a 105. And I wonder how Tom knows that.
Oh Lord! And there are hiding places on
Can you
there.
imagine trying to explain that breech obstruction to the gunnery sergeant? Well,
No,
you see,
we can all guarantee.
Can you
gunnery
imagine the
sergeant-
poor bastard that breaks the string that was supposed to be pulling it out?
Yeah.
Because I'll guarantee you the gunnery sergeant has already seen that and probably did it in his misspent youth.
Yeah.
There are so many hiding spots, hiding places in M3 Bradley.
Oh,
One of the best is right above the turret ring. The gears, the turret ring's a big gear on the inside of the turret.
yeah.
And a smaller gear fits in it, spins the turret around. Whee!
Yeah.
Well, there's an open space where you can get your fingers caught. Where you can grease the turret ring. And just to the left or right, you can hide things. However, do not spin the turret.
After you hit it. Yeah,
Because-
Tom says that if you do that, however, it will get stuck up in the barrel if a shell gets rammed up there.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Oh dear.
so somebody lost a good bottle of rum, is what you're saying, Tom.
There was some bunch of cannon cockers almost made me load my shorts one time. They were firing over our position. And apparently, if you take, I found this out because I went over there intent on hoping somebody's butt. If you take a couple of razor blades and you put them perpendicular where the fuse meets the body of the shell, so they're sticking out, when you fire it, it screams like a damn soul as it goes over the cavalry's head. And you will cause an innocent E5 to almost load his shorts.
Because it sounds like it's coming down on top of your ass.
I'll have to remember that.
Well, I still, a friend of mine, Crash, was a A7 pilot in the Navy back in the 80s. And he got tasked to fly a mission over in Lebanon, up in the Baikal Valley.
Yeah, Baikal Valley.
Yeah.
Pardon my French.
To blow up certain things. However, they had a lot of anti-aircraft up in that area.
Because they probably didn't want you to blow up certain things.
Yes,
Yeah.
they get twitchy about that sort of thing.
So he had,
Someone reasonable.
they were briefing for the mission. He said, well, what about all of the AAA sites? Oh, that will be taken care of. You will have overflight. You will have cover.
Prove it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is military intelligence.
Yeah.
All over again.
So they banged off the front of the boat, formed up, and started up the valley, and they were talking a precise airspeed.
Oh.
Big sky, little bullet.
No, big sky, big bullet.
Yeah.
Volkswagen screaming passengers.
New Jersey was their cover,
Oh,
and they were firing up the valley ahead of them.
Yeah, but the Air Force is not a big fan of this kind of,
no. Sharing the sky with something that's
Well,
bigger around
this
you.
was Navy Air, so we're used to it.
Yeah, you guys
But-
still do that. That's a little.
Sharing the sky with something bigger than the fuselage of the bird you're in.
Yeah.
It's just not fun.
But Crash said, yeah, I never will forget. He says, I'm sitting there flying along, fat, dumb, and happy. And he says, and all of a sudden, half of the fucking cliff exploded in front of me.
Yes.
The valley explodes.
You have to move out of the way.
Oh.
The cliff is suddenly in front of you, and you just move over for it.
And he said his next thought was, well, if there's a short round, I'll never know what hit me.
What about the turbulence of a 16-inch shell going past must be like?
It was going over them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen.
They were down in the valley.
I've seen.
They were
gun
at
camera.
200 feet, give or take.
I've seen gun camera footage of World War II fighters flying through. Like they shot a train up,
Yeah.
and blew the train up, and then they end up going through the debris field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't look like they're getting that much turbulence out of the deal, but I'm willing to bet there are a few extra holes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well,
You're paying off a big fan at the front of the aircraft.
Yeah.
We know it's a fan because if you turn it off, you watch a pilot start
They're
to sweat.
sweating. Oh, God, yeah.
oh, Raptor, there are a number of call signs that are interesting. Crash was just one of them.
It's an unfortunate one.
Well, he earned it.
Yeah. Okay. That's the problem. Is they tend to earn that.
Oh, crap.
Well, probably one of the better ones, though, was Rat Willard, who actually flew in Top Gun, the movie,
Oh, okay.
when he was lieutenant commander, and went on to make
Call sign
4-star.
rat.
Huh?
Call sign rat.
Call sign was Rat. Went on to make 4-star admiral, and it still answered to Rat. But
Well,
he got the call sign when he was at the academy because of the movie Willard,
Oh, yeah. To
Oh,
Willard.
gotcha.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
it.
okay.
and he could never get rid of the call sign.
I might as well wear it probably.
The only way you get rid of a call sign is if you do something stupid enough
Yeah.
Which
to
you-
rate a new
Stupid
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stupid
Exactly. So, like,
If
you know,
if if
whatever
your
I
call-
get, I'm good with
If your
that.
call sign changes, it's not a good thing.
I knew a puke, a snap, a guy with a call sign of Avon. Let me see, Rat, Crash, Snake.
I was Airwolf. My bird, my Black Hawk. Oh, there was something just a little bit off on one of the engines, and it screamed like Airwolf. So the bird got named Airwolf, and of course that became my call
Crew
sign.
chiefs,
Yes,
because it's yeah.
it's my bird. I signed for it, so I was Airwolf.
Yeah, Raptor. He actually, Crash actually went on to become a squadron commander. Took the squadron of A7, Navy A7s to Korea for a deployment, flying off of highways in Korea.
Yep. I know exactly which one.
Yep.
There's
Got
a there's a billboard that's shaped like a triangle.
Yeah.
And sticking out in the middle of it is the observation deck.
Yep. But he got them all there in one piece, got them all home, and went to turn over the squadron to the XO. And the XO had a medical problem, so he got extended another 11 months as the CO.
Congratulations, lube up.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the middle of a transition from the A7 to the F-18.
Ooh. Ouch.
Yeah.
That's a big jump in technology.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Oh, by the way, technically, they didn't call me Airwolf that much. You can guess what they called me as an 18-year-old. Air cubby. Air puppy.
But I heard from both him and another friend of mine, Spider Webb, that it took 1.4 people to fly the A7 correctly. But it was a single pilot airplane.
I'm fixing to say, I'm willing to bet there's some wives and mothers are upset about the 0.4 part.
Yeah.
All they do is they look for pilots with that third arm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's that A7, like a few other Navy attack aircraft, were notorious for drilling the target in more ways than one.
Yeah.
It was called targets fixation.
We're talking second gen or third gen.
Pull up,
jets.
oh shit.
So
Yeah. Well, there was no pull-up queue.
there was the complexity was there.
Yeah.
But the automation wasn't.
A7 was the first complex
And it was just
single pilot.
The checklists for just startup were pages and pages long.
Yeah.
And then you get to like the way the F-35 was supposed to be, which was you hit one button, and then they changed that to you hit one button and you advance the throttle to a position. Because otherwise you might hit that button and without meaning to, and it would start. So
Yeah.
So yeah, the automation is caught up with the complexity finally.
And now the F-35, you hit the button and you get the blue screen of death, and you have to
Yes.
restart the.
Well, I'm sure that they've managed to screw that up too.
Well, there's the reason they went away from radials is because starting a radial is an art. It's not a science.
It is very much hard, but radials were more reliable,
Oh yeah.
which is why all the Navy's World War II planes were radials.
Yeah.
Except for
All of them were radials.
okay. Yeah, there was the reason the Air Force didn't like radials is because radials were also gigantic, flat drag
Yeah.
things, right?
Yes.
So you get the
But you can put enough horsepower and a big enough blade on
yeah,
there.
you put enough banks of 9
Yeah.
in a row, and you will push that thing through the air at 400 or 500 miles an hour. But
Yep. Then Richard says, AKA the SPAD. Yep.
Yeah.
Single engine with the same payload as a B-17. Yep.
you look at all the gyrations that the Germans did on the Focke-Wulf 190.
Yeah.
Because it's a radial.
Okay.
But they did all this cowling and
Trying to
molding and these
Yeah.
complex curves to try to get an aerodynamic as well as cool
Yeah.
that bank of radial cylinders. And then you look at the P-47,
Yeah.
which was the Air Force's radial.
We're going to strap
they
a
just
guy at the top of this thing. Go.
They just went big.
Yeah.
Yeah. They went big and they put all the cooling in the aft end.
Yep.
Behind the fuel tanks. And that was where all the intercoolers and everything else were. The Mustang was actually, Navy didn't like the Mustang because it was not a radial.
Right. It was a V12.
Yeah. The
And
thing with a radial, to start a radial, first thing you got to do is get the fuel and oil out of the bottom cylinders to keep from blowing a jug off. So you had to do either 6, 8, or 12 blades, depending on the size.
No, you hand pulled it through. You hand while the crew got out there and they would walk that blade around 12 times.
Oh, trust me, I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
I've done it on an ag cat alone. Not fun.
Well, the 3350, you were not going to pull through by yourself.
No,
We had to
no,
do
yeah.
it on the Connie.
Yeah, so the whole crew gets out there and they do each engine.
Yeah.
They pull it through, so you get all the oil out of the bottom. And remember to get the coffee can that was catching the oil that was dripping out of the bottom cylinder.
Yeah.
Make sure you take that off.
Important.
Yep. And then when you actually go to start it, it was fuel mixture to full rich, crack the throttle about 1/8 of an inch, count 8 blades, primer, 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 and throw the mags.
Unless it's warm.
Yeah.
If it's warm, it's completely different.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how much you pull through. If it's hot or cold, whoever's behind that airplane is going to be covered.
In oil.
In oil.
Yeah, face
yeah.
oil.
Yes.
Well,
Which
and
we never used as a way to get even with somebody we were mad at, ever. I've never done that. I've never covered an entire parking lot in oil from an egg cat.
oh, we one of the things I used to do with new kids on the Connie crew at Glencoe.
Oh, new kids, poor little devils.
Yeah, they got done to me too. Put them in front of number 3 prop because the flight engineer was not in the cockpit. He was sitting sideways. So there was an escape door forward of the number 3 prop. So
Okay.
open that up, and the flight engineer would sit there and look out, and he'd give him signals. Flight engineer controlled the power in the Connie, not the pilots.
Oh,
Right.
I'll bet that drove the pilots nuts.
Oh yeah,
No. You wanted
Yeah.
that bank of engine gauges.
Yeah.
Was an entire wall.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. You
it's
wanted
literally in the Connie. It was literally 5 feet wide and probably 4 feet tall.
and these are just engine gauges.
Yeah.
They're giving you cylinder head temp, they're giving you oil pressure, oil temp, fuel.
so you wanted a specialist actually watching
Yeah.
this stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Now the pilots could control the props. They could
No,
grossly
they couldn't even control the props. All they had was a throttle.
right. They could grossly control that, but
Yeah.
Once you got up and cruising, that side saddle guy was doing all the work.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, what it do? You're standing about 6 feet in front of number 3 prop. So you're down there giving him turn signals, And what you didn't do was you started both inboards or both outboards. What they love to do was start both inboards and then increase the power. Connie had a rocker main gear. So it would rock forward about 4 feet when it came up on the
Oh.
rocker.
So you wanted to be 6 feet in front of that prop.
So you're standing down there and all of a sudden you're realizing that the airplane is moving by. Oh, shit.
And you load your shorts.
Because
Well, I tried to dig a hole in the concrete.
the great thing is the main gear won't move. It's just settling down on the nose gear, and that's 4 feet of movement.
No, it was a rocker gear. Yeah.
yeah. Because of that front nose stroke would compress, and everything would just kind of shift forward.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
Oh,
It was 19 feet.
do you remember? We used to do this when we went and did displays when I was in the Army, but we would take a Cobra, a Black Hawk, and an OH-58 because we were Cav unit, right?
Yeah.
And the OH-58 is great because if you ever heard it's a Jet Ranger, if you ever heard one start up, you hear it going, and then
Yeah.
you hear this tick, 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 tick,
Oh, yeah.
and you tend to know how many ticks before the igniters catch.
So send somebody up there with a cigarette lighter.
Yeah. So what we would do, is the pilots would get there and they go tick, tick, and the crew chief would be standing there with a book of matches, and he'd go, tick, 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 and he'd throw a match into the exhaust stack, and the engine would go, and everybody's looking at it. That's how they do it.
y'all ain't right.
It was hilarious.
Y'all ain't right.
Well, we used to start A4s at Glencoe with a shotgun shell.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Those were hard on the engine, though.
Yeah, because it's a shotgun shell.
It was a blank most of the time.
I hope so.
Otherwise, there's a hole in the cowling when you're done.
Yeah. Well, the problem was and this was back in the early 70s, literally early 70s. We didn't have good power cards back then. And we never had enough. So the Air Force turned in a bunch of NC-10s, which were the power cards, self-driving power cards. They're basically a Jeep with a power unit on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Turned them in as unsuitable the DRMO. The Navy went over and went, ah, brand new ship. We got this.
God, it sounds like the Army.
The weird bit is the Air Force commissioned a small jet engine
Yeah.
as an APU,
Yeah.
to put in their carts.
Okay.
And they built 10, 15,000 of these.
Yeah.
And the Air Force said, no, these aren't working for us. So they surplus them out.
And the Navy got them.
No. They're going into kit-built helicopters.
What?
Yeah,
No,
There's
we got a bunch of them in the 70s. The
There's
problem was keeping the damn
no,
thing running.
these came out in the 80s and 90s. The helicycle, it's a single seat kit-built helicopter with a jet engine. And the jet engine is this APU that the Air Force rejected.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, no, a lot of power.
Oh,
Lot of
yeah.
power.
I just know.
Yeah, there's
God,
the
that-
Rotaway has a mod that you can put the jet engine into.
That defines America in one little paragraph right there.
Oh yeah.
We took a jet engine that was rejected as a starter unit by the Air Force and we're going to stick it in a helicopter
Yes.
that we built in a garage.
On the weekend. In poor lighting, probably.
And on that note, folks, we've wasted another hour of your
Wow.
time today.
This is good.
Oh, that was fun.
Thank you very much for listening in. Hope every one of you has a good and safe weekend. And if you're in Texas, yay, freedom.
Yeah, finally.
We're going to
Even if people are losing their damn minds.
Ouch. Ouch. Ouch.
So remember, folks, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff.
Be
We'll
safe,
see you
guys.
next week. Bye.
Have you noticed those taste exactly like Thin Mints?
Yeah, they're great.